I believe that there's a difference between feeling and being alone. I believe feeling alone is a lot more common than most people think or want to admit. Feeling alone can range from anywhere and anything, I believe. Feeling alone can be not having anyone around, or maybe there's times where you've been left out and that makes you feel kind of upset. And I know that feeling all too well. And that I don't really admit to people just because I think it's almost embarrassing in a way. And I know I shouldn't feel embarrassed for it, but I do. And there's being alone. This could be, let's say you're invited to a party and you say, no, thank you. I'm not really wanting to party this weekend or whatever. And that's okay. That can be on your own terms. Being alone isn't always a bad thing. I think feeling alone is what gets the word alone its reputation. Because feeling alone could be from anything, like I said. I myself have been fighting myself mentally and physically for the longest time, especially in the past couple of years. I've noticed that I've been hurting and feeling more alone than ever. And it's okay. It's okay to feel that way. But where it's not okay is to not speak out. It's okay to feel sad, it's okay to feel alone, but it is not okay to suffer alone. I stepped into counseling and therapy, and I've never felt more able to express myself. I wouldn't say happy, because I'm still struggling a lot, but I definitely say it helps get those feelings off your chest that you need to get off your chest than just sitting with them or fucking just I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to get at, but I hope you can kind of understand that message that I'm trying to bring. So, alone isn't always a bad thing, but there should be boundaries to it, I guess you could say. Um, I think I've felt the most alone in the past year or two just because of some personal home problems I've struggled with. I know some of my friends and family can agree with me on that. There's been lots of deaths concerning and surrounding my family since forever, but just in the past 5 years, there's been so many people that I've lost, whether that's through drug addiction, abuse, suicide, or just natural causes that I can't even count with one hand, two hands, let alone one hand. It's been scary, and I'm I'm scared that one day that it might be my parents or someone that I might know, like really really close. And that frightens me because a lot of the friends I have struggle with depression and suicidal thoughts. And it's not rare to hear people talk about it, but it's also not rare to hear about it. If you can kind of understand what I'm trying to say. There's people who don't speak out often about struggling with things of that nature, like suicidal thoughts and depression, because a lot of it comes down to humiliation and embarrassment in a way. Suicidal thoughts can be really tricky to deal with because there is a lot of scary shit out there, and there's people who may think it's quote unquote attention seeking, and that is rough for people because there's people who are struggling, and when they speak out they get called attention seekers or something along those lines or of that nature. And it's like that's what a lot of people are scared about, and speaking out and not getting the help that they need. And myself included, I was scared of speaking out for the longest time. And when it finally came out of me, I felt better than I ever did before. I didn't feel necessarily happy, but I felt some sort of joy in it. And that's what makes me feel so okay about it. Okay about speaking out about it. I've spoken in front of people, I've done concerts, I've sung, I've read out speeches, I've made my own speeches, and it's like it makes me feel okay being able to talk about this stuff, especially knowing the amount of people that it has affected in my life alone and anyone else who may be out there watching this. And I think it's almost beautiful in a way. And I'm not trying to say that depression is a good thing or it's a beautiful thing, but I think having so many people out there who may be hurting or struggling silently, or they're also speaking out about this kind of stuff, or they took this action into their own hands and they've found people they can talk to. I find it so empowering, I guess, that there's a lot of people who can connect on the same level about something like this. Even if it's not the prettiest thing in the world, it's incredible how many people struggle with something like this and they're still here. They're powerful. It's empowering and it's beautiful. It's amazing how awesome. I wouldn't say awesome, but it's incredible how many people can keep going even when they feel so broken and unrepairable in a way they can feel. I know myself, I've never tried to commit suicide, but I know some people who have on multiple occasions, and it makes me so. That feeling is so strange. If you can understand what I'm trying to say, it's a weird feeling. Attempts, just hearing about them in the news, or when your friend, if you've ever had a friend who may be struggling with that, when they tell their story, it's inspiring, but it's also at the same time like, damn, you know what I mean? I know this girl, she's tried several times, and her story is amazing. Like, she's not even halfway down high school yet, and she is still kicking it, and she's been through some wicked shit, man. And that's like so crazy how she's still so powered by moving in life. She still wants to go and do incredible things, and that makes me so incredibly happy for her and for the people that may feel the same way. It's like, you all amaze me, and I'm so incredibly proud of every single one of you. And I've never tried, but I've thought about doing it before several times. And just in recent times, I've been considering suicide for a while. Recent times, I've been thinking about it every single day. I was recently diagnosed with diabetes, and I've been absent from therapy for about 2 weeks now. Last time I checked in with my therapist was 3 weeks ago. So I haven't been really talking to people. I haven't really been doing much. I've taken a break from video games. So I've been kind of on my feeling alone parts era, feeling alone era. Sorry, I don't like that word. I find it kind of lame. Era. That's besides the point. Um, I've been feeling alone for forever. It feels like. And with my diabetes diagnosis, it's changed my life already, and it's been just less than a month since, and it's like so crazy to me. And I have to deal with a person in my life who is addicted to drugs. I don't know if they're using anymore, but he fell off a couple months ago, and he's been acting different ever since. And it's so harsh because this person being so close to me, and I know them for forever. I haven't seen this person for, I'd say, maybe 7 years of my life, and that in and of itself is already a terrible thing to go through. But when you're on the verge of losing that same person that you got back not even like 5, 6 years ago is rough because it's like they've been gone for forever already, it feels like. So if you lose them, that person again, it's like, what the hell was even the point of that time we spent together if you're just gonna throw it all away again? And never want to blame an addict or someone that is struggling with something of their own, because I feel like that's a dick move and it's not right. I'm not saying that addiction is right or that it makes things right, because it definitely does not, but it it definitely changes a lot of things. Like a lot of things. And I understand that the mind of an addict is very different than a quote unquote normal person. And I understand that a lot. I do. I really do. But it shouldn't excuse anything, if you can understand that. I feel like the person who is struggling with addictions should really try rehabilitate and change their way of life, especially if that person has people who needs them as much as they need them, and especially if that person has children or a wife or a spouse or somebody that needs them to rely on. The other person, and they should really get the help they need. And it's a tough subject. It's a tough way of living, tough way of finding your way back home. And I understand it, but I just wish that addictions didn't become so common in this economy, in this generation, because there's people out there who need that person like crazy, and they love them and they need them and they want them. And that can cause someone to feel so alone. Even if it's one person, that one person can change at least 100 people in their lifetime if they don't change. And even if they do change, there's still irreparable damage that can't be fixed. It's been done, and that's so scary, and that's so fucking upsetting to me and so many other people. I have so many family members that have been addicted to drinking, alcoholics. There's people who I know that have been addicted to weed and cigarettes. Even that can cause damage. Not even to people, but yourself. I guess all drugs do, right? I've known people who've done hardcore drugs. I know people who have been homeless. I know people who have lived a crime kind of lifestyle. People who have run away from police. I know people that have been shot, and I've known people who watched their friends die in front of them. And it's all fucking scary. with that or hearing that or seeing that can make someone feel alone and scared. And I just wish it could all change for the better life of anyone, myself included. How do I get back up? Oh shit. Okay, well, that's a shame. Um, but being alone and feeling alone shouldn't be something to be embarrassed or scared about. No matter how dire or not the situation is, I think speaking out can help. And I know there's people out there who are skeptic of speaking out. There's people who are scared to get the help they need, whether they're addicted, they've been struggling with home problems or addictions. I think everyone should take a moment to consider what might be the what could be life or death situation. If you don't get help now, there may never ever be a chance down the road, or there could be consequences to your actions. And it hurts to say, but it's true. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. And it's upsetting, but it happens. So if you're hearing this and you've been struggling, it's okay. There's people who can help you, and there's always time. It's never too late to get the help you need, to get back on your feet. Whether that's literally drinking, vaping, whether you've been abused or you are the abuser, there's people out there who can help you get back on track. 'Cause I know I was addicted to wanting to be having that party lifestyle. I was addicted to drinking and smoking for a bit. Drinking, I didn't know when to stop. It was, I think, my first year that I was drank, and I was drinking a case. Not every day, but when I could get my hands on one, I just wouldn't know when to stop, and that's kind of lame and it's painful, and I don't know how to feel about that. And just last year, I met this guy, and he seemed nice, and he got close with my friend group. I made music with this guy too, and he got me hooked on cigarettes, and I was smoking at least two a day, 2 cigarettes a day for maybe a month, maybe two, and that is some seriously fucked up shit. Not him just peer pressuring or getting me addicted, but for my body, knowing what I am or who I am now, it's like that is so embarrassing and it hurts to admit. And it's like, how could I ever, in a way? I don't know what I'm getting at here in this video, but I'm kind of talking about everything. And I feel like there's people out there that might want to hear it. And to those who have stuck around and really heard me. I want to say thank you. And I really hope you are going to be okay and that I wish you the best of luck on your journey because addictions or suicidal thoughts or depression, it can be hard to deal with. And to those people who are addicted to something or have been struggling with using weed, alcohol, drugs, or anything else, nicotine, there's people out there that can help, and it's never too late. There's sometimes where you feel like you need it, and that's fine. It's okay. You can step away. It'll take time, and if you ever do fall off, I want you to know that's okay too. It's normal. There's people who are out there who might get upset with you because of it, and just know that it's bound to happen and that it will happen. And if it does happen, you can always get more help, and it's normal. To the people who struggle with anxiety, suicidal thoughts, and depression, I want you to know there's people you can talk to about your situation. There's people trained who are meant to help you make it through it. I want you to know that it's going to be okay. No matter how many people are in a room, no matter how anxious or scared you may be because of it, I want you to know that it's never that serious. And that's easier said than done, like I said. It's not going to be a one moment kind of thing. It's totally fine. And I want you to know that everyone else in that room could be going through something different. There's people who may have just lost their pets or a family member. There's people who just want to get through the day like you. There's people who are in the same position as you, and you may never know it because you never get out there. You never put yourself out there, and those people may never too. And that's kind of the weird thing about Sonder is because everyone else is living their own lives, and it's not like the same thing as you. And that's kind of strange because you know that's happening, but you never really think it, right? I don't know. I think it's something cool to think about, but it's also something so strange. Like that mountain over there. It's not even a mountain, it's a floating island. Okay. I kind of hope I get my point across. I kind of went on about a lot. Um, but my entire point is that it's okay to not be okay, but it's never okay to suffer in silence. And that can go for anyone. Even if you're the happiest and most joyous person in the world, there's days where you're going to be feeling like shit. And that's okay. And if you're ever to fall from grace, I think that's what they say, fall from grace. Or if you're ever to not be happy one day, maybe something happened the day before or that morning when you wake up, it's okay. And there's going to be dark days in life, and that's totally fine. I know I've been having those dark days for a bit, but there's other days where I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it makes me feel positive. I try my best to be positive and help others. Kind of another reason why I started this. Because it's in my nature and it's one of my favorite things to do. And it makes me happy. So, I just want to say, you will be okay. Anybody, you will be okay. And you should live every day like you rock the world. Almost like it's your last day. Because you never know. It may be, but don't think of it like in a negative way. Think of it more like, hey, this could be my very last day. Um, I want to make the most of it. I want to help people. I want to be with people. Live it your way. And I think that can be the difference between being inside and sad than being outside and happy or something like that, you know? It could be the difference between night and day for you and for what you need. There's things we want and need, and I think it's something that you might need, but you just don't want. So you should give it some thought. But I think that should conclude it. I have no idea what to name this video yet because I kind of went all over the place. Probably something to do with alone because I talked about fucking suicide, depression, addictions, and there's people out there. There's things to do, and I know especially after the pandemic, life's been strange. So I understand where some people come from, and I want to say you're all loved and appreciated by somebody, okay? But I think that should be all for this video. Next video, I want to try talk about something to do with probably relationships. So thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I want to say once again that you are loved and appreciated by at least somebody out there. And that should give you reason to keep going. So give everything, think, and put it all into consideration for today, tomorrow, even yesterday, a year from now. Take it all into consideration that there's more than just what your life has been recently. Especially if you are still in high school or you haven't completed yet. There's more out there than just the high school you go to. There's more than the same routine every day. Once you're out of high school, there is so much out there to do. You can party all you want on a college campus if you ever decide to go down that route. There's places to see. There's mountains out there that will literally make you cry at the sight of them. And you boil it all down to, this is the rest of my life. I'm going to be just rotting in bed, watching my fucking YouTube videos on my phone or scrolling through TikTok, social media. All these toxic things that get into your brain. Pornography, even. That's a good one to say. That's another addiction. I might do a whole separate video of just addiction, too, at some point. But I think that all this shit that you just kind of consume on a day-to-day basis really changes a lot, too. So, just know that there's more to life than whatever you're doing in this very moment. thank you for listening once again. I'm actually gonna end the video now. So, thank you. Um, Sorry for not fucking doing anything in Minecraft this whole video. I don't even know how to play this game. I've tried taking this video like 6 other times and I've died like 20. So, thank you so much, everybody.